These damn game cards, man. I'm not gonna buy them. Why would I buy like fake? It's like the fake freaking physical products. It's like fake. Like what's going on? It's like buying some Psyches, you know, or buying some Fadidas. I don't know, some flea box. Welcome to Potion Sword Run. In this episode, we're going to be making fun of Nintendo Switch owners. Why? Because if you want third-party games, you have to buy game key cards. So disappointing. And you should be too if you're a Nintendo Switch 2 owner who likes buying their games, collecting games physically, where the game is actually on the disc. So that 20 years from now, you don't have to rely on a corporate server to access your game like you do with game key cards. Now, the game key card is good for people who want to buy their game digitally, but still have a physical copy they can trade in or take to their friend's house or something. But yeah, you can still do that digitally with digital games, so you don't actually need the physical card. The only thing that it does is create a barrier between you and your digital games. Pretty much what you're doing is downloading a license that you can put into your system that allows you to play your digital games. Why not just buy the digital game in the first place? Because it's not on the card. Now, with the card, let's say 20 years from now, the server goes down because the corporations go belly up or they change their mind because you know how they are. You won't be able to access your games because they're not really on the card, only the license. It's like, what's going on? That's the whole point of owning your digital games. That's why people buy Nintendo products. That's why people buy the Switch 1 because, well, one of the reasons why people bought games on the Switch 1 or had the option like within other to buy digitally or physically. You know, they went mostly physically because you're able to play them whenever you want 20 years from now. I mean, it's always been that way with Nintendo. They're the stubborn ones that didn't want to switch to, you know, DVDs and follow the trend and go digitally. It took them so long. Even now with their online, like, digital stuff, like, they're still way behind. But then now, all of a sudden, they're selling you guys games that are not actually games. They're selling you physical products, licenses. And it sucks that it's mostly all third-party games. It's the rare exception when it's actually on the card. Now, the good thing is Nintendo's putting all their games on the card, so at least you'll be able to play Nintendo products, you know, for as long as the game card, you know, lasts. But the rest of them is pretty much up in the air. It's crazy. It's like all of them, all third-party. Look at this. Look at the list. It keeps on going on. It's like, why would anybody, especially who loves physical games, buy these on the Nintendo Switch 2? And there's nobody else to blame but Nintendo themselves because they don't offer these other third-party developers a different size of the cartridge. Supposedly they charge them $16 for the, you know, for the big memory cartridge cards. That's how much they charge them, $16. And if you're like a struggling developer, or if the game, you know, isn't that popular, or if you're selling it for like $40 or something, it's like $16. It's almost half your profit. Not even half your profit, like half your margins. Forget the profit. You don't even know how much you're making on profit. Probably like $4 if anything, if you're like a small dev. I don't know. I'm just, you know, spitballing. But even then, like $16. Like, I wonder how much that costs Nintendo. You know, Nintendo can probably afford to absorb that cost because, you know, it's their cards. They probably, you know, get it for half that, or maybe less than that, third of that, or fourth of that. I don't know. I mean, you would think that they're not selling the cards to the third-party developers at cost. I mean, not Nintendo, the way they've been doing everything, selling everything at a premium. And so, like, they're forcing developers to either choose the expensive one or put them on the game key cards. And if you're, like, trying to make money as a developer out there, like, what are you going to choose? Obviously, you're going to take the gamble on the game key cards. But people, unless you're like the casuals, don't want to buy game key cards. Like, don't know about game key cards. Or, you know, it's just not the way Nintendo customers are used to, you know, doing things. And Nintendo knows that, and that's why they're selling their games on the actual card. So I don't know what's going to happen. It looks like most of the launch titles that came out with the Nintendo Switch 2 failed to reach expectations. They're not selling, and it could either be because they're lackluster titles, The only one that sold pretty good, I guess, was Cyberpunk. It could be because the whole game was on the disc, or just could be, coincidence because you're able to play, Cyberpunk on the road. But it just looks like everybody has been disappointed, unless like a mass audience adopts the Switch 2, which I don't think is gonna happen. I think the people who bought it and want it pretty much already got it, and now it's gonna be like a slow trickle. It's not gonna reach the mass audience that they think it's gonna reach, and if it doesn't, I think that these third-party publishers are gonna suffer until they get another storage option, or until they just bite the bullet and you know splurge for the most expensive game key, the key card, whatever. Um, and the thing is, like, they're not. A lot of these developers aren't selling these games at a discount. They're not selling them for like $25 or like $30 or $40. They're selling them like at full price, even though they're old, 5-year-old games and stuff. So I mean, they can absorb the cost, I guess, if they want to try to sell them. But maybe it's just people don't want to buy their games on the Nintendo Switch, third-party games. Like the games that I look for on my Switch are ones that don't really make it on Xbox. They might make it on PlayStation, digitally or whatever, but it might be like smaller games that I want to take on the go on my Nintendo Switch. Like I'm not looking for graphic extensive games on my Nintendo Switch, my first one. So I'm looking for like unique, like homey games, things that I can just curl up and play. When I'm on the go, like if I'm, just those type of games. Not ones where it's like I'm not trying to play like Call of Duty or action packed type of games on my Nintendo Switch. So maybe it's just the type of games. I don't know, but I really think that these game key cards are just a big disappointment. Like just the introduction of them just doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess if it's a barrier between you and your games, your digital game. It's an extra step. It's like insurance policies. Like what's the whole point of them? Sell the games digitally or sell them physically. Why are you guys trying to sell fake physical products where you need a license in order to like access your games? Again, what happens when these servers go down and you're not able to access your games? You're not, it's not on the disc. Those discs are pretty much useless in the future. But we'll see. New technology. For all we know, maybe, there'll be some kind of downloadable worm that they throw into all these discs, magically add some memory in there to be able to absorb all the knowledge it needs to continue the game going in the future. It's Nintendo, I'm sure they thought about all of this. Game key cards. It's like, might as well just buy your games digitally. Saves you the trip from having to insert your games in there, especially because they're not real. I mean, unless you want to display stuff on your shelf for some reason, I get it, but doesn't it feel like you're displaying fake art, like phony stuff? It's the same thing when people sell you just the box with the digital code inside. It's like what are we doing here, guys? Like the whole point of buying something physically is to have it physically. It's not a hard concept. And so Nintendo's just being shady with these. Shady both, again, because they're selling these expensive ass storage options to the developers where it cuts into their margins like crazy. And shady because they even introduced these in the first place trying to fool the public into thinking this is a viable option for collectors and stuff. It's not. So it's not going to change though, unless people don't buy these games. And it doesn't look like they're buying them, so who knows? I'm not sure if either third-party developers are going to, either demand a better option, or if they're just going to bite the bullet, or if they're just going to stop porting their games over to Nintendo Switch, because there's no point if it's not selling, right? The same with the Xbox. A lot of these developers aren't porting their games to the Xbox because they're not selling at the rate that they should be or they want. So it's like, what's the point, right? But like I said, it won't, unless like these Nintendo fans probably won't even buy the games to begin with, because they probably just buy Nintendo for Nintendo products, which I mostly do. Well, I did. I started collecting from my Switch recently, but like I said, I'm collecting games that are on Xbox, and that otherwise would be exclusive to the Switch One. So that's what I'm trying to look for, just smaller games. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent now. But these damn game cards, man, I'm not gonna buy them. Why would I buy like fake? It's like the fake freaking physical products. It's like fake. Like what's going on? It's like buying some Psyches, you know, or buying some Fadidas. I don't know, some flea box. Like what's going on here, guys? Like why would you want to buy fake shit? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to me. But then again, I'm not a Nintendo drone. If you're a Nintendo drone, then I'm sure you love these. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it right there because I'm starting to insult people. Remember, always be kind to yourself and enjoy your life. And I'll meet you right there. Peace.